Hi parents! Today's video I'm going to talk about figurative language, which is another one of the benchmarks that will be tested on the FAST. There are 6 different types of figurative language, and your child has to be able to find the figurative language and identify it, and identify why it is that type. So I'll go through them real quick. The first is alliteration. Alliteration is when the same sound is repeated throughout a sentence. So I'll give you an example. 5 flying flamingos fought ferociously for fast food. So you heard a bunch of F sounds at the beginning of each of those words. It doesn't have to be the same letter, like it could be a bunch of K, it could be K and C, it's the sound. The next one is a metaphor. So that's when you compare two things without using like or as. You just say one thing is another thing. So I'll give you an example of one of my colleagues texted earlier this evening, and she said, Kona ice is my own personal nightmare. So she compared Kona ice with a nightmare without using any like or as. She just said, Kona ice is my own personal nightmare. The next one we're going to talk about is a simile. Now that's a comparison where they do use like or as. So during the kitty game that our class plays at recess, Miss Dickerson complained we sounded like a thunderstorm from her classroom below us. We sounded like a thunderstorm. So that is comparing using like or as. So that is a simile. That's the difference between a simile and a metaphor. The next one is onomatopoeia. That's a kind of weird one. Onomatopoeia. And that's when a word sounds like the noise it makes. So, for example, my last name, Plouffe, is actually onomatopoeia. That is not why I chose Mr. Plouffe. I know I'm really obsessed with reading, but I did not pick this guy just to get onomatopoeia. But anyhow, when we were at our wedding, we took a rock and we dropped it in the water to be symbolic of our name. So it was like, poof. But now we're going to get into hyperbole. I am the youngest child, as is my husband. So our siblings, instead of getting us just a nice little rock that'd be cute to throw in, I'm in a gown, they got us like a boulder. Now that's hyperbole. It wasn't a boulder. It was a bigger rock than I wanted, but I'm exaggerating. When you exaggerate, that's hyperbole. So saying that a good-sized rock is a boulder is an exaggeration. That's hyperbole. And the last one we're going to talk about is personification. Mango. That's the key secret word for today, mango. So personification, that's when you take something and you give it human-like qualities. So if I said, my computer begged for a rest after hours of lesson planning, is my computer begging me for anything? Because my computer can't talk. It doesn't have a voice. So I am pretending it is having a human quality, so I am personifying it. It has that word person at the beginning. So these are the 6 to review. Alliteration, you say the same sound over and over. Metaphor, you compare things no like or as. Simile, you compare things with like or as. Onomatopoeia, it sounds like the word sounds like what it's describing, like bang or woof or splash, any of those sounds, those words. And hyperbole, when you greatly exaggerate, and personification, when you give something human-like qualities. So that's this one. They should probably have about 4 questions like this on the FAST. Thank you. Bye-bye.